With these postcards being black and white, shaded by the leaves that bind.
Traveling in the desert during the night can be dangerous too. There are lots of roadblocks from the police with big machine guns, and that can be quite scary to look at. The boat taxi brings us to the opposite side of the river to catch a minivan, then to the hot air balloon takeoff area. The boat taxi provides tea and coffee and some snacks. Then we catch a minivan that brings us to the hot air balloon takeoff place. The journey is only 10 minutes. We arrived at the hot air balloon takeoff ground at around 6:30 to 7 a.m. We were late. In Egypt, don't expect people are on time. In order to watch the sunrise, you need to leave very early and arrive at the takeoff ground at least at around 5 a.m.
Their photographs would tell a story. With these postcards being black and white.
We waited for another half an hour for our basket and hot air balloon to get ready. There is actually a lot of work in the hot air balloon that comes at the beginning and at the end of the flight. The takeoff time and landing time are both very critical period, and we must listen to the pilot instructions carefully. The staffs begin to blow up the balloon with a ventilator until the balloon is fully inflated. Then it's time to heat the balloon with the blower till the balloon can be put up vertically. Do you know what's the best season to go up hot air balloon? Well, do you know when is the best time to visit Egypt? The best time is during winter month, November to March. The same goes with the hot air balloon ride. The best is to go out when the weather is cooler. It was quite hot when I was up despite the winter month of December. The burner that lights up the fire adds up the heat. The burner works as an engine that makes the balloon rise. Every time the pilot lights up more fire in the burner, we feel hotter.
Shaded by the leaves that bind so freely. Cracks in the trees let through the light. To the trees whisper in the sidewalk. To the waves in the water talk. If I sketch out and I lost on the lakes, drift as wood as I wait. If I take back the compass to the water, I'll find you. Will it be too late?
Once we were on board, we did some rehearsals to practice landing stance and listen carefully to the pilot's instruction. Slowly, our balloon got off the ground and everyone was very excited. The sky is filled with colorful balloons, Quite a beautiful sight. Ancient Egyptians and ancient Chinese share some similarities. They built massive tombs underground thousands of years ago. The most famed collections of such elaborate tombs in Egypt is called the Valley of the Kings and the Valley of the Queen that lies on the Nile's west bank near Luxor. When we were up in the hot air balloon, we could see everything from the top. There are more than 60 tombs in the Valley of the King, vary from small tombs and a large tomb. But too bad, many of the tombs were looted thousands of years ago. What remains were the artwork on the walls that allow archaeologists to learn about the lives of the pharaohs. The most famous tomb in the Valley of the Kings is that of the pharaoh Tutankhamun, sometimes called as King Tut. It was discovered in 1922 by Howard Carter, the Englishman, and had been largely untouched by thieves and vandals. Luxor is an important city in Egypt, situated on the east bank of the Nile River in southern Egypt. In Luxor, you can act as an archaeologist whole day because this city has the world's greatest open-air museum. Trust me, when you're back to your hotel or cruise at night, take a look at your shoes. You will see your shoes are covered by layers of dust and sands. I was shocked to see the amount of greenery beside the Nile River. Not very far from here, it was desert all over the place. Ancient ruins and archaeology sites, tombs after tombs and sands. The Nile is life source in Egypt, and you can witness it from the top of the hot air balloon. It was such a wonderful sight to see the lush and beautiful greenery on the Nile's banks. Many of the sites in Luxor are still having lots of real archaeologists working hard on the field, digging, recording notes, and data to reveal about the past. The tall green grasses are sugarcane. There are important crops along the river Nile. The history of sugarcane in Egypt started Arabs introduced the cultivation. Currently, there are several sugarcane products. It is the main source of sugar. Egyptians call sugarcane asab, as it is pronounced in Arabic. Egyptians like asab so much because of the sweet taste, and it can quench thirst, especially in long summer days. From the top, we saw many interesting things. We also saw the villagers' houses that have the flat roofs. The unusual thing is, chickens and goats were kept on the rooftop. Kids from the village rushed to us once we land and out from our basket. It was shocking to see them riding their donkeys, charging at us. They asked food from us and told us they were hungry. They knew that tourists usually have their breakfast pack from the hotel with them. We gave them all our breakfast packs, which include a large orange, apple, bread with ham, and fruit juice. A pair of twin statues that depict Amenhotep III in the seated position. These pairs of statues are huge, about 60 feet high into the sky. Valley of the Kings is the most important archaeological site in Egypt. The valley lies on the west bank of the Nile in Luxor. This is the final resting place for the Egyptian pharaoh. Do you know how many tombs in the Valley of the Kings? There are over 60 tombs in the Valley of the Kings, but not all are open for the public. Unfortunately, most of the treasures inside were looted thousands of years ago, so there was nothing much left. However, the murals and hieroglyphy that cover the walls of the royal tombs provide an invaluable insight into the past of ancient Egyptians. Our tickets allow us to visit 3 tombs. It costs Egyptian pound 240, that is USD $15. The tombs are labeled as KV1, KV2 until KV60 plus. KV stands for King's Valley. Most tombs look the same, so visiting 3 tombs is more than enough, unless you are really into tombs. Please keep your tickets well, as they do check at the entrance of each tomb. They will punch a hole at each entrance. The big camera is not allowed in the tombs, but phone camera is okay to use. If you have a big camera, it is advisable to leave it on the bus. Do not even bring along, as there will be checks on the bags too. In many of the tombs, the mirrors are protected by the glass screen. Please do not try to touch the wall, as it will cause harm to the beautiful murals. The King Valley is situated in the mountain in the desert, extremely hot. I was here in the winter month of December, but I can still feel the heat. Temple of Hatshepsut is located on the west bank of the Nile near the Valley of the Kings. Who is Hatshepsut? Well, you don't get many female pharaoh in Egypt, but Hatshepsut was a famous female pharaoh that came to the throne of Egypt in 1478 BC. She ruled for a long time, about 20 years, and considered one of Egypt's most successful pharaohs. The Hatshepsut Temple was grand and carved in the mountain. The view of the temple from a far distance is quite astonishing. This place is always busy and full of tourists. It was very hot even in the month of December, since it was surrounded by deserts. The heat is unbearable, so carrying an umbrella is a good idea. There are a lot of steps and long distance to walk up to the temple. Ramp access is also available on both sides of the steps. The temple looks very impressive from the outside, but not when you are inside. Only several imposing statues and some paintings still exist. But most were damaged. Nothing really left inside the temple. If you can't afford to walk the steps, just look at the temple from outside. The building itself, viewed from a distance, is stunning, but not when you are up close.
I can't keep going like this. Gotta find me a cup with some codeine in it. Stranger, where the hell you been? Won't you heal me of my sins? I can't keep going like this. Gotta find me a cup with some codeine in it.
Closer, please. Third one, dark green alabaster. Please, when you get alabaster by hand, don't put water.
Alabaster is a type of stone found in Luxor. Our guide brought us to a local alabaster factory near the Valley of the Kings. Alabaster comes in three colors: dark green, tarnished yellow, and white. One of the reasons that alabaster is prized is due to its translucence and the effect of the light passing through the soft stone. Karnak Temple has several sections to visit. It is big. The temple was built by Ramesses III, one of the important pharaoh who has ruled for about 31 years during the New Kingdom. He built many impressive buildings and has a very good military. You will see all this evidence in Karnak Temple. There are three primary kingdoms that historians use to define periods of ancient Egypt. The three kingdoms were the Old Kingdom, the Middle Kingdom, and the New Kingdom. Hatshepsut was also from the New Kingdom. In the Great Hypostyle Hall, there are 134 giant columns. The 12 taller central columns are almost 70 feet high. You will be amazed to look at the giant columns built in ancient time. How did they do it? Karnak Temple is not built only for gods, but also for the Egyptian rulers who wish to be memorized. The place is so massive, covering 200 acres, and was the place of praying for nearly 2,000 years. Many pharaohs added their own construction here. At first, it was built as a temple dedicated to the Egyptian god and goddess, that is, Amun, Mut, and Khonsu by Ramesses III. The mystery of Karnak Temple can be discovered from the written wall. Your guide will reveal all the stories behind it. A special tips for you when you visit Karnak Temple. Do not pay attention to the people in the temple when they offer to take a picture for you or tell you the best spots to shoot the picture. They will ask for money once they show you the best spots for pictures. If you wanted to help them, then please go ahead. Due to the bad economy and the Arab Spring Revolution, many Egyptians have no jobs, so they came to the tourist sites to look for a living.
Stranger, where the hell you been? Won't you heal me of my sins? I can't keep going like this. Gotta find me a cup with some codeine in it. Stranger, where the hell you been? Won't you heal me of my sins? I can't keep going like this. Gotta find me a cup with some codeine in it. Hell you been?
Luxor Temple is located on the east bank of the Nile River of Luxor, just 2 kilometers from Karnak Temple. It is on the west side of Karnak Temple. My final thoughts for you. The crowds are always there in Luxor Temple, so visiting early before the crowds arrive. You can also come back after sunset when the whole place is light up. It will be a different scene totally, trust me.